Carlos Adames was responding to a tweet that was recently sent out as far as news between him and Terence Crawford being made about a fight that could possibly be happening next between the two. And he obviously said, who said that? That's what he says on this tweet right here. He said, who said that? He said yesterday, Turkey Al-Sheikh teased big plans for Terence Crawford, saying the champ have a lot of surprise for his city and for the future. And someone threw in there that Crawford could first challenge Carlos Adames for the 160 WBC belt. And then Carlos Adames said, who said that? So that's news to him, something that hasn't been discussed at all. And I thought the same thing. I didn't think that Carlos Adames and Terence Crawford was actually talked about yet, because that's the easiest fight you can possibly make between those two. We know that those guys want to fight each other no matter what. So a fight between those guys being discussed, I don't know how real that would be right now. Like he said, he doesn't know anything as far as those plans. Who said that? So he's trying to figure out where this news is coming from, because that's news to him. And if he's the fighter who's getting in the ring with the guy, he has the belt, he would definitely have the say-so on whether the fight happens next or not. We've already had talks about him and Janovic happening and never happened. And for the same reason, it didn't happen 2 years ago. I didn't think anything changed between them. It was being discussed on their end as far as with their teams, but I didn't see any real changes. And it wasn't really a lot of, I would say, push for the fight between him and Janovic over the last 2 years. I think that's what makes it a lot worse as far as not being a fight that could possibly happen next. Because if you're not having any kind of excitement behind it, there's no reason for, even though it is a unification, there's no reason for that to be first. Just gonna be honest with you. Because that fight would seem like on paper as being a bigger fight. A guy who went toe-to-toe with Shiraz. A lot of people feel like he beat Shiraz. So for him to be looked at as a guy who not going to be first in the Janovic situation, yeah, that says a lot. And to go after the older guy, maybe Carlos Adames looks at it and says, if I'm out of the plans, nobody's going to be undisputed. Which is the right thing, the right thought to have, to be honest with you. Because he was having that same thought 2 years ago. He said, I'm going to have this 160 belt. I'm not going anywhere. I'll think about 168, but if it's not really something serious enough to make me drop my belt, I'm not going to drop the belt just to make Janovic more comfortable. And Janovic was saying things online like he's not trying to make the fight. Well, Turkey Al-Sheikh's involved right now with a lot of these things that's going on. And if Terence Crawford is involved at 160, Turkey's involved. Turkey's involved. A lot of other people are going to have to be involved if you want to get paid a certain way. Now, if you're going to pass up a career payday for something that you would have probably been fighting for 6 figures, that's now worth 7 figures, you definitely will take that in Carlos Adames' situation. But as far as I know, he's not turning down any offers. They can say what they want, but in his case, he's not turning down no offers. I know Janovic can put words out here and say what he wants, but at 160, I like Carlos Adames' fights a lot more than I like the ones that Janovic been having. And he just fought Janovic's mandatory, which was Hamza Shiraz. So everybody was saying Shiraz was ducking. People were saying Janovic was ducking. That's why the fight didn't happen. No matter who ducked, it didn't happen. So we know that these guys have history of not having fights be made at a certain point, even a mandatory. So no, that's not on Carlos Adames, but for him to point this out and say, who said that me and Terence Crawford was going to fight next? Because that's news to me. That would be huge. But I don't see that actually happening right now until there's an offer out there that he's actually, interested in. Even though Carlos Adames has fought in Riyadh season one time, he had a lot of things leading up to that fight that would make you think, nah, I'm not really interested in dealing with that right now. Just gonna be honest with you. He probably doesn't have the motivation to be thrilled with those events, especially after a lot of events that happened up until his fight that I pointed out before the fight, but I had forgot about all the things and the connections. But in this situation, he's gonna be the last person to make a move because he's seen the things that happened previously, and that's not his fault. I mean, he's taking care of his career. If people want to do certain things to kind of make fights harder for him, he's not gonna jump at an opportunity unless it's a valid opportunity, and the guys are serious about it. But that's all I got. Like and subscribe.